I'm Mark Arnold and this is the Iron Empire. In this episode we are back on the beat Bronco. What are we up to today, love?
We are finally getting back into our Bronco. This is going to be our dirt road car where we can take the dogs in the winter. But first we've got to get it running with doors and seats probably. Yep.
We do have it running, but temporarily. Under bonnet, no bonnet actually, but engine bay, fuel system, temporary. That has to be rectified hopefully this week. Big one, which sucks. I can't be bothered doing it, but the floors are toast in this car. So of course we can't even really, there's no point even sort of, yeah, they're minced. But yeah, like I've said in many other videos, that this thing is always just in the way. It's our rubbish bin, it's our bloody storage unit, it's our, yeah, we got shit everywhere, but we've just been doing a big cleanup. One of the things I want to do today, I've only got Andrew here for a couple of hours, but one of the things that I think is pretty important to get done is that back window, they're only electric, which is such a pain in the ass, because as soon as you add electrical shit, you take away from the mechanics of it, things fail, and of course the switching, the wiring is all gone and all fucked or whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to try and rig up. Andrew's done a wicked job of cleaning this all up in here now, so it is perfect to work on. I want to get in there and try and hot wire that window so we can get it going up and down. I'm not sure if I've even attempted that before, but we can't even get the tailgate open until the window goes down. So the window goes down first, tailgate opens. So it's one of those things. It's sort of like a cool feature, but it's also a massive pain in the ass when shit fails, which it is right now.
I am just removing these door things because they're all gross and we need to repair them a little bit. And maybe we don't even need them. We could just have nice clean doors. See what happens. But just getting more stuff out the way.
We rolling?
Yes, we're rolling.
So this is where the dog's going to be hanging out, hopefully. Well, Winnie will be up the front leaning on us because that's what she also likes to do. I've got some cab sliders as well. We're going to take this glass out. We've got some cab sliders from Mark at F100 and Ford Spare, so we can open these up and the dogs can stick their heads out. So I've made up a little temporary loom, which is handy for opening and closing windows. Pretty sure I've shown this before. Actually, it was working on Bronco doors, and it works straight off the bat. Ready? Bullshit! Oh, it's gonna work! I got something. That's not looking great. Oh man.
Yeah, I think it's jumped over this side.
Alright, so obviously stuck over here somewhere, but hey, at least we got some movement. That should be enough, right? I might have to get in here with some spray and lube everything up and see if we can get this thing to go down evenly. What a bonus that the motor works. Here we go. It's because it's got no... Alright, hang on a sec, let's just... Ah, the way! Oh, the way! Fuck, sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, go again. Yeah. Another quick touch. Stop. Oh, yeah. Yep, again. 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 Yep. All right. I'm okay. Oh, fuck my life. Now I gotta work out how to. Oh. What the hell's that on? Oh wow. I guess that hadn't been open for 10 years, maybe 15.
I'm going to try and take this glass out. Because we're going to put a caps ladder here and then we can climb in and out or whatever we need to do. So I've never taken a window out before, but I'm sure this is the start. Little piece.
And try and save everything so we can put it back in.
Yep.
You always want to try and save these original rubbers if you can, because the aftermarket ones very rarely fit like this. Unless it's real ones, but it's still pretty rubbery.
Puffin.
These things you just want to try and gradually, once you get started, you should be able to just keep putting pressure and just moving pressure along. But this should be safety glass, so if it does go, you shouldn't get fucked up. Alright, you want to catch this, Andrew? So I'm just getting this rubber just to roll around the outside of the channel, and then we'll go wiggle it out.
Do we grab the top?
Hey, you want an even pressure. If you pull it there, it'll just smack. I mean, we still might break it, but I'm trying even pressure. That is
Plastic?
That's plastic. Yeah, that is not. Okay, so it's not going to hurt us because it's plastic. It was bending way too much. I thought. Anyway, I don't think that's factory. Maybe it is, I don't know. So Dandy, tell us about this little Torana for those who haven't seen it before.
Everyone would have seen this. This is my first car, my first love. And around my 30th birthday, Mark restored it for me and brought it back to life because it was stolen and smashed and rusty and all sorts of awful.
So when did you get it?
When I was 16.
Which was about when, 2006,
No idea. I don't understand
7?
years.
2000.
About 17 years ago. Yeah.
And it was stolen back then, and then it sat around for a long time, didn't it?
Yeah, lucky we had a big paddock. So just sat in the paddock rusting away. Got used as a bit of a donor car. But yeah, come back to good.
202, now running a nice little 253. And a nice little paint job from down at Jake's Chop Shop back in the day before we even had a booth down there. removing this cowl panel because I'm starting to look at this floor and seeing how bad it is, and obviously the floor can't rust unless something up higher has failed. So it's either a windscreen is leaking, or it could be leaking through here. Now these are common to rust in the firewall here, which this one is done as well. So there's no point in doing any repairs down there unless I find out why the water's getting through and stopping the water getting through. So it's obviously blowing out a little bit, as should be expected, but we're going to do our best to try and, I don't know, stop the water, otherwise we're just going to be rusted out. I'm not going to do the best. I'm going to do a pretty quickie repair on this floor, but still we don't want it to continue rusting. Pointless exercise. What else is attached? Ah.
The whacker thing.
Jesus. Strongest bit of rubber hose I've ever seen.
Too rusty?
It's down below in here. It's full of dirt. It's like a garden bed in there.
Yeah.
Someone's previously loaded it all with silicone to try and stop the water, but the problem is they put silicone over rust already, so you're going to convert the rust at very least. It's just going to keep going, so that's where it's getting into the car. I'll try to stop it. So if we were to blow now, it's going to run straight into the car. This is not handy. This is not handy. Look at that.
We got windows. You hate silicone.
Someone's done a shit attempt, and we're going to do another shit attempt. It's going to be better than this.
That hopefully worked for a few years. It was sitting under a tree in someone's front yard for like a decade.
Yeah, the problem is when everything... So the car's designed to take water. Like it's designed to have... This is where the wind comes in and you open your vents and it blows through the car, circulates, aerates, all that sort of stuff. Problem is, obviously you have to allow air in, which means water's going to get in. So the water gets in and it's meant to drain out each side of this cowl panel, or whatever people want to call it. But what happens is leaves go down the vent and then land in there, and then debris breaks down, turns into basically mulch, and then the water goes in there and it sits in the mulch and sits there and stays wet. It doesn't drain anymore. And because people leave these things outside forever, it's just an ongoing, it just never gets better. And then we come along and we're dealing with the rustiest Bronco out. So if you look inside under the dash, you'll see everything come out. Yeah. So what we're going to do is rust treat all that, because that's a monster job to get in there and rust repair it. Someone's going to rust treat it all, and then we're just going to block up all the vents so that no more water can get inside. If we want airflow, we open the windows. Okay, so just making a bit of progress, just continuing on with some basics. Last night I got the radiator all bolted up, pretty basic. I put some riv nuts in either side here into the radiator support panel. I showed the riv nuts in the Mustang video. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. It's a super handy tool to make real pro fixings in panels and stuff like that. So that's what I've done here. So that's all fitted up, and she's holding water. I need to move on, put a fan on it and a fan shroud. I was going to do all electric stuff, but you know what? The clutch fan that's on this thing, will that come off of it? It's still in really good nick, so it's still working. Just keep it simple. Mechanical fan, I'm just going to give it a paint and reassemble that. I've noticed that the spring is super soft on this carby return, so the revs are staying up when I move it. So I'm just going to swap the spring over that I've pulled off the dart, because that could be a later problem. Now that should hopefully bring that idle right back to where it's set. I'll just try that now. Whoa. That's almost too low. That idle is on the floor. Ah. Another thing I said in previous videos, that the reason I was keeping this bull bar on while I do a lot of engine bay work is that it's kind of handy to climb up onto because it's such a big engine bay. But I've since realized that half the climbing is in order to get over the bloody thing. So I'm gonna beeline straight to pulling this bull bar off before I even bother doing any work on the floors, because this is more exciting and it's gonna look heaps better once this is gone. Having said that, if you're a Bronco guy or a F100 guy and you need a bull bar, hit me up. Now I'm going to clean up this fan. As I said, the clutch in this thing is good, so as long as it's got some tension, and she has got some tension. If she'll loosey-goosey, it doesn't work. But I'm going to clean it up now, give it a quick coat of paint. And am I going overboard for a patina car? Probably. Is the rest of the engine bay shit? Yes. But I can't bring myself to put dirty shit back on a clean car. Wait, dirty shit on a dirty car. Doesn't matter, either way. I've got to clean this thing up. We'll just give it a quickie. Oh, hell yeah! Sick! That's what we're talking about. Expose that bullnose front end, the thing that makes this shape so iconic. I freaking love the look of the front of this thing. Obviously, it's going to need a bunch of cleaning up, but this stainless will come up really nice. Maybe we can re-black, or I don't know, silver or grey or something. Probably cast iron there. Some new indicator lenses. I've got a bumper for this thing already from Mark at F100 and Ford Spares. He's my go-to. I've got a bonnet over there that I painted like 12 months ago. That's going to go straight on. Man, This thing's going to take shape. This thing is tough. The cooling system is pretty much complete. The fan shroud come up pretty nice. Just gave that a clean and I painted that with some adhesion promoter. We've spoke about that on the channel before. That is a good alternative to painting it because paint can flake off of plastic and then it looks worse than just being dull in the first place. So I cleaned it and adhesion promoter so it sinks into the plastic and sort of almost stains it rather than trying to add color. And as you can see, it looks really good. So we've done a Fiddly Bits Rattle Pack respray on this clutch fan and it is looking pretty average. Nah, it's fine, it'll be okay. I didn't even clean this thing too well and it's honestly, it's below average, but it looks a hell of a lot better than rusty. Can someone explain to me why the fan fins, it's still drying, I just gave another coat, why the fins are in a weird position? You'll see it's actually designed like that. So too close, too sort of kind of far apart, or three, it's all over the place. I feel like I should know this and maybe I have heard why, but I can't remember right now. So maybe someone in the comments can tell me why that is even a thing. Now these are always a pain to get on. You got to get it all in one hit. It's kind of a bit of a trick to get happening. And I can't really see in there, but I'm going to go right ahead and get myself magnetized to the bonnet catch. Once this is in place, the bottom clips in and the top will just, it's actually broken up here, but I'll bang a screw in there somewhere, or even just a sneaky little zip tie, and then cooling system's pretty much done. Now it's time to do this fuel cell. I've been putting it off because it's going to be a shitty job. Basically got to retrofit a eBay special fuel cell into the truck because the original tanks are all pretty rusty. This had a custom fuel cell which is totally ruined. So yeah, this is our next option. But now, of course, we've got to find out how to we got to make a way of getting fuel into this. And I don't want to go through the top here. Well, I don't want to use this fuel cap because that means I've got to cut a hole in the floor, which just opens up a whole can of worms. I mean, if I've got anything loaded in the back of the truck, I've got to open the tailgate, fill up inside. That's just shit house. And yeah, I could probably do it temporarily just to get me going, but what's it going to save me? It's just going to cause issues. So I'm trying to work out a way that I can retrofit a fuel filler neck into this. So if I was smart and I planned ahead, I would have got something like this, like a blank one where I could weld in a neck or something like this and then join to the original fuel filler flap. But I forgot about it. And here we are dealing with it now. So this is all plastic stuff. I could cut this out by hand, drill a bunch of holes and dick around for yonks. I'm not sure that's going to be my way out of this either. So what I'm going to do before I go down that path, because I can always do that later, or I can always do that if this fails now, I'm going to cut this lid up because I'm never going to use this anyway. I'm going to get rid of this locking part of the lid. It's already got the right fit. It's already got a seal. Everything will seal up nice and tight. If I cut the locking part of this lid up and then mount that so it's fixed, drill a hole and then a rubber grommet that can go inside the lid, then I can pivot this to where I want, and then from there I can run a flexi line to my filler flap. That's what I'm thinking so far. Is it ghetto? 25% ghetto, but will it work? 75% it's going to work. Let's get into that. Okay, so I've now finished up that filler neck drop-in situation. I'm just going to seal it up and sort of clamp it in place as it goes into the car. It is not the right way of doing things, but for the beta Bronco, it is going to be perfectly fine. Realistically, if I thought ahead, I would have made up a filler neck or tried and find a real tight elbow one or something. But for this, it's going to be totally fine. It's going to do the job. Now I've got the fuel cell sitting in there, just mocked up very roughly. It needs a very specific sort of bracket to run from chassis rail to chassis rail, something a little bit like this. Now, I actually had an old couch here that I was using in the shed, and I burnt it like a year or two ago. And these metal straps were the legs. And I thought that would be handy one day for brackets. And no shit, they literally meet each chassis rail almost perfectly. The drop for at least the backside is going to be bang on. I might have to modify one of them, but this is a really good outcome. And you know what? They've been coated in like a Chinese chrome, which never lasts. But the underside of this thing is all rusty. Usually I would clean this up and satin black it, but rusty chassis rails with this bolted on looks part of the deal. So I'm going to do a bunch more fine tuning, and then you will see it go in the car. Okay. Oh, out. Yep. Yep. Oh, yeah. Grindage. I'm just marking this now with this white paint marker from King Chrome. I'm not even sponsored, but I did buy 2 others and they failed. And then the King Chromes worked. So credit where credit's due. Safety specs for this one. Oh, that is. Oh man, that sucked. Right on the tender bits of skin. Oh yeah, that was brutal. Oh, it's still gone. Woo. Too warm. Oh, it's gonna be stuck in my blanket now. Oh, what a fail. Everything come out good there. Now it's just a matter of moving this Carter style, I think it's Carter, the brand, the original old school brand, pump, electric fuel pump from the front, which is coming out of this jerry can. We're gonna move it right down to the back and hang it on the chassis rail so it's as low as we can possibly get it. This is a push pump, not a pull. So you wanna have this sitting nice and low, and then we're gonna run some wires and all that sort of fun stuff. But I was hoping to get this thing out for a bit of a paddock bash before the sun goes down, but we are already pushing it for time. Like, I'm not sure how far we're gonna get, but so I'll do my best to get this, otherwise this video goes out without the time I need to get this done properly. So we have to start cutting some corners because I want to have some fun in this thing. Anyway, get this off, get in the back, see how we go. All right, so big shout out to Raceworks who supplied the whole fuel system for this car. They had everything that I needed to make this thing, from old school mechanical right up to brand new pumps, fuel lines, AN fittings, all the good stuff. Make this thing bulletproof. Something like this. Hang it low. Obviously not low enough to cause some damage, but the good thing about these things is they're rubber mounted, so you don't hear the vibration. They're as basic as they can be. They've got good flow. This doesn't need to be regulated or returned or anything fancy like that. Now, usually I'm a pretty basic kind of guy. I like everything mechanical, with the exception of fuel pumps. The good thing about fuel pumps being electrical, especially with cars you don't use often. For example, Andrea's Torana over there, that might sit for a few months at a time, and you just give it some ignition, and it primes up the fuel line, fills up the bowls, everything's ready to go, a couple of pumps on the throttle, and you fire it up and running, rather than trying to turn it over.
No problem.
Bring fuel up mechanically. I feel like it's worth it. In this instance, it's what we're going to run with. So if I hang that down just enough, it's not going to touch anything. We're being ruthless at this point. I have to pick my battles. These are push to connect, and you push it in and it is like a barb. Once it's on, it doesn't come back. You do not need hose clamps. These things are unreal. Once again, this is an E85 worthy hose. We're only going to be running it with unleaded, so it's no big deal. But yeah, push lock rubber hose from Raceworks. I'll tape that up temporarily, and then that's it. Now it's going to run it from here to the front and then run a 12 volt feed. I am absolutely stumbling at the finish line right now, racing against time. Once again, want to get a bit of a paddock bash in on the Bronco. It's not looking good. Why is it that when you need to do some wiring, the only wire that's long enough is speaker wire? And it makes you do the ghettoest shit ever. I don't have any actual single strand, well, copper core wire. I don't have any actual wire in any color to make it all the way to the back. It's all just bits and pieces like a meter long, or bloody, like not even nowhere near what we need. But of course, speaker wire are plenty. It always happens. So I'm going to wire this thing up with speaker wire, and then I'm going to have to get a reel of wire during the week and correct all that. But I need to do some relays and shit down the back anyway. For now, we're just going to try and get positive, negative, get that thing pumping, put some fuel in it, and see if these things come to the top. Oh man, we're getting close, and we are running out of daylight. All right, guys, I have to accept defeat on this one tonight. It's just getting too late, and I still have to really get that filler net connected. It's really close, and I'm super happy with how it's all lined up in the back there. It's a bit hard to show you now, but yeah, it's really close. I just got to run a bit of flexi line from the filler neck on the body to the filler neck on the tank. I've now ran my speaker wire fuel power. If I connect this up here, you'll hear it hum at the back. Connect that up. Listen to a hum. Oh. She's humming, she's ready to go. Obviously this is temporary. That's all we're going to see this video anyway. Cooling system fully installed, fan, shroud, all sweet. Yeah, we're getting real close. Obviously I didn't get anywhere near doing any body work, but that bull bar is off and it is looking way tougher. Tomorrow morning, I actually do have a little bit of time up my sleeve that I've been sort of keeping in the bank, and I'm going to need it. So if I get an early start, I might be able to get this thing fired up and give it a bit of a paddock bash. Okay, so that is a wrap on the Beta Bronco for this time around. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything done on the body, but we have a full fuel system. We have a cooling system, and what else did I get done? Oh, we got that tailgate working. We've got the side glass out. We got some progress done. Next time we'll get stuck into the body work, tackle those floors. I'm not looking forward to that. But that's going to be for this time around. To like, comment, subscribe, check out the online store, support the channel if you want. And that's going to be for this time around. Cheers, guys.